Salute everybody. Salute, 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 salute. Welcome to the first episode of the Dog Call. Salute. And I am your host, Armando Black, coming here to talk some Georgia Bulldog football this week. Salute. Happy Thursday to everyone. Happy Thursday to everyone. Well, the Georgia Bulldogs, our beloved Georgia Bulldogs, are getting ready to travel to Lexington in terrible inclement weather. It is going to be 88% chance of thunder showers in Lexington, Kentucky. It's going to be a rainy night. Night game in Kentucky. You know how that is. They give us a hard time when we go up there, whether it's dry, rainy, cold, it doesn't matter. We played and I've watched my dogs play in all types of weather up there, and it's always been a tough battle, but I expect my dogs to come out on top like they always do. Now, speaking of on top, let me address you, Mr. Kangaroo Black. And shout out to you, bro. You're doing your thing over there or whatever, man. But you know, man, you're being a little delusional. All right. I watch you on a regular, man. You got some good content. And I was checking out the live you did the other day with the top five, the SEC top five teams so far going into week 3. And your top 10, and I'm just simply, I don't know what other way I can put it. I can put it as nice as possible, but it's garbage, bro. It is simply garbage. It's garbage, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you exactly why it is garbage, Mr. Black. You have Texas as your, first of all, let's start at number 5. First of all, your Alabama Crimson Tide is not the 5th best team in the conference. All right. They just struggled with a mediocre group of 5 team. They're not even the best group of 5 team. They're not even on the level of Boise State. They're not even on the level of Memphis. They're not even on the level of Tulane or Liberty. They struggle with a mediocre group of 5 ball club. In Bryant-Denny at night, on the night that Nick Saban's were being honored, by them naming the field, Bryant-Denny Stadium naming the field after Nick Saban. You would think that the squad would come out and show up and show out for the GOAT, but they didn't. They struggled for 3.5 quarters with an inferior opponent. So how in the hell can you even put them at number 5? Bro, they are nowhere on my top 5 list, okay? Yours is all shambles. Texas is not the number 1 team in the SEC, all right? Yeah, they went up to Ann Arbor, they beat Michigan, blah, 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 blah. But you'll find out later on in the year, as the year goes on, Kangaroo, that Michigan was overrated. Michigan is nowhere near on the level that they were on last year. I've stated that many times, even in our pregame shows before the season started, that Michigan is not the same. They're going to take a step back. They lost their head coach. They lost a couple of people off the staff, and they lost a lot of their key players on both sides of the ball. That line, that O-line, is nowhere near what it was last year. And that's why they could not do anything against that Texas defensive front. So you crowning Texas as the best team in the SEC because they, based on the fact that they beat Michigan, I'm going to debunk that here shortly. But let me give you my top 5, ladies and gentlemen. Let me give you my top 5. My top 5 is, and I'm going to start at number 5. At number 5 is Mizzou. It's Mizzou. All they've done is boat race their opponent. They play, yes, they played 2 inferior opponents, but they destroyed them. They've done what we've asked them to do. From the eye test, Missouri is the 5th best team in the SEC. Ole Miss, now they could move up. Really, honestly, they can move up, but so far they have not played a tough opponent. But we're going to find out this week when they go to Greensboro and play Wake Forest. We will find out. At number 3 is the Tennessee Volunteers. You know the Tennessee Volunteers, the one you trying to bag ride right now, Kangaroo. Those Tennessee Volunteers. Now, yes, great win on Saturday. But NC State is nowhere near an elite team. They are an inferior ACC team. They're not even the best. You act like Tennessee did that to Miami. You act like they did that to North Carolina. You act like they did that to Boston College. You act like they didn't even do that to Florida State. NC State is nothing what they were 2 years ago. They've regressed. They're nowhere near on that level anymore. So I don't understand why you're trying. So your logic, according to your logic, NC State is a better opponent than Clemson. Tennessee's win. So let's just look at it now. You have Tennessee ranked higher than Georgia. You have Georgia at number 3. That's where you lost me at. You have Tennessee at number 2. They both beat ACC opponents, all right? Clemson, NC State. Clemson has dominated the ACC. Let's take a look at Clemson and NC State, okay, for a minute. NC State has not won one ACC title. NC State has gotten nowhere near any playoffs. Clemson has been to 5 playoffs in the last 10 years. Clemson has won 2 national titles in the last 10 years. All right. They played in, if I'm not mistaken, they played in 3 national championship games in the last 10 years. Okay. Look at Clemson's body of work. And I guarantee you, by the end of the year, Clemson will be ranked higher than NC State. NC State may not even be ranked at all. They are nowhere near what they were 2 years ago. Okay. So that debunks your theory. Good win by Tennessee. They went in. It's not like they did it in Raleigh. They did that in Charlotte. Okay. Now, even though it was in the state of North Carolina, Charlotte is located in the state of North Carolina. That's not Raleigh. It wasn't a home and home situation. It was technically a neutral site ball game. And everybody knows Tennessee travels well. And Tennessee was the much more talented team. But it wasn't that impressive. Nowhere near as impressive as what Georgia did to Clemson. And there is no doubt in my mind that Clemson is a better ball club than NC State. You know why? Because I don't believe that NC State could hold my Georgia Bulldogs to kicking field goals for an entire half. I don't believe that NC State defense that I saw against Tennessee, there's no way in hell that anybody can convince me that NC State defense would hold my Georgia Bulldogs to field goals, to 6 points in the first half. But Clemson did. And I say that to say this. Clemson is still my favorite to win the ACC, even though they did lose and lose badly to my Georgia Bulldogs. I still feel like Clemson is the best team in the ACC right now. It'll be a battle between Clemson and Miami. Those two teams will decide the ACC championship because everybody else is taking a step back in that conference, including NC State. All right, let's take a look at Texas. I've already voiced my opinion with Texas. I have Ole Miss as my number 4 team. Tennessee is my number 3 team. Number 2 is Texas. The reason is I don't think Michigan is as good as Clemson. Now, it looks good and it sounds good for you to say that because Texas went up there to Ann Arbor and did what they did to Michigan. I say that Georgia could have did the same thing. I think Georgia could have did the same thing. I think Ole Miss could have did the same thing. I think Mizzou probably could have did the same thing. Probably Tennessee. Texas is not the only SEC team that could have went in to Ann Arbor and did the same thing. There's no doubt in my mind. That defense is garbage, that line is garbage, and that secondary is suspect for Michigan. They're going to lose quite a few games this year. They're looking at somewhere between 9-3, maybe 8-4. They're gonna, and you're gonna see how weak Michigan really is this year when they line up against USC in a couple of weeks. At number 1, I have my Georgia Bulldogs. And like the great Nick Saban said, the GOAT, the same man that led your school to 7 national titles, that Nick Saban. I'm sorry, 6 national titles. That Nick Saban, the GOAT, said out of his own mouth, until somebody beats the Georgia Bulldogs in between the hashes, they're the best team. So you can do your little top 5 and try to discredit what Georgia did in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium a couple of weeks ago to Clemson. But I highly, highly doubt that Tennessee or Texas could have did the same damn thing. I highly doubt that. And one thing I can guarantee you, what Texas did to Michigan, I promise you, Georgia could go into Ann Arbor and do the same damn thing, probably better. I don't think they would get a touchdown on my Dogs defense. And NC State, I don't give a damn if the game was in Raleigh or Charlotte or Athens or wherever. My Dogs would hang somewhere between 50 and 60, probably 70 on that defense. So Kangaroo Black, your SEC top 5, bruh. I rock with you. You cool and everything, man. And I enjoy your content. But, bro, you done lost your mind. You done lost your mind, bro. The best team right now, today, and we're talking about today, September the 12th, 2024, is none other than my Georgia Bulldogs. On paper, off paper, on the field, however you want to put it, it ain't no team in the SEC, talent for talent, pound for pound, can match my Georgia Bulldogs. And you are gonna get a first-hand look at my Georgia Bulldogs on the 28th. I can't wait. I can't wait. So if it makes you feel good to sit over there and sell your Bama Gump loving fans over there a whole bunch of pipe dreams, like Bama ain't lost a step, that Bama ain't missing the beat. Everything that you saying over there, all them delusional fairy tales, running your mouth like it's 2014, when in all reality it's 2024. You can huff and puff all you want to, all that rah-rah noise. It sounds good. It sounds good. But in real life, you're not the same without the GOAT, Nick Saban. Thank you all for joining me. I'm Armando Black. This has been the Dog Call. Salute to everyone. We'll do this every day. I'll come on here and do a short every day, maybe a couple of these a day. But I just had to come on here and address Mr. Kangaroo Black and his SEC top 5. Mr. Black, Kangaroo, you done lost your everlasting mind. Go Dogs. Sick 'em. Woo, woo, woo.